intro. So I'm analyzing my national ESL matches. Things didn't work for the first match. As my teammate Furbex pointed out to me. Say hi, Furbex.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So he's my teammate from Australia, and we're the only DKMR members that are on this time. And so I'm analyzing my second match only because the first match that I got was bad. There's nothing to analyze. I'm analyzing the match where I lost. I'm analyzing from the end of the first game, and I'm working my way backwards. So what we learned. So this turn, what I do is I go for his face, and I get him below 12 health, and he kills my taunts, and he hits me in the face and Mortal Strikes for 6. I take a long time to think about it, thinking that if he has Mortal Strike, then he wins. Um, but I end up deciding that since he only has 2 cards, that uh, and well 3, that it's unlikely that he'll have Mortal Strike, and that going for his face is my best chance to win. Because if I kill his stuff, then it gives him more turns to win, and I need to win fast. So, what do you think of that decision?
Yeah, I think yeah, definitely need to like put some pressure on him to like put the ball in his court kind of thing.
Okay. So, anyway, if I had gone to try to kill his minions, um, the thing is, the Harvest Golems are really, really annoying, right?
Yeah,
Because they could just come back. So, the best I could do, and I wasn't gonna use my face to kill his Harvest Golems, so the deadly poison was out of the question. I guess what I could have done is maybe play double Harvest Golem and then gone for his face, which then I would hit him for 8, which means he would have been perfectly at 13, which means he couldn't kill me that turn. The problem is my Harvest Golems would have a hard time killing his Harvest Golems anyway, and
yeah,
then he would eventually just kill me. So I think I was screwed at that point. So let's go backwards from there. So I think at this point I'm screwed, either way. Um,
yeah. Yeah.
so we can go back
Hold on, I think there might be a problem with the stream.
my stream, really.
Yeah, hold on one sec.
It looks
Let
fine to
me
me.
refresh it.
It's
Yeah, it could be
frozen.
my internet's going up.
It's frozen. I
Yeah,
haven't.
is it frozen?
I mean, it's not frozen. It's I haven't. It's just paused. That's all. Like I'm looking at my stream now, and it's fine.
Alright, give me one sec. I just gotta refresh it.
Okay.
Alright, should be good now. I think. Wait, I don't. So it's not playing yet, right?
Yeah, it's not playing yet.
Alright, cool.
All right. Uh, so we've decided that I'm screwed. Um, so let's go back from there. The turn before. What does he do this turn before? So I put this up. Wait, no, that just happened. My turn takes a long time, and that confused me because I thought he like gave up like the last guy because it says cancel the challenge. Um, okay, hold on. All right, so wait, this is way before. All right, so he gets me down to 11. Oh,
Um, would it be easier if I could look at your videos? Hold on, I might be able to do that.
yeah, okay. Well, the thing is, I keep going back, so that might be a problem. Anyway, I'll just tell you what's happening. So,
Alright, cool.
he just hit me in the face with his Arcanite Reaper. He's at 27 health. I'm at 11. It's turn 5. Um, I have a 3-1 SI7 agent and a 1-1, obviously 1-1, Blood Mace Thanos in the field. In my hand, I have 2 Harvest Golems, Deadly Poison, and an Argent Commander. Um,
Yeah.
so since he just used Arcanine Reaper and got me down to 11, my immediate reaction was to just throw up the Defender of Argus and get a 4-2 and a 2-2 out. Um, but there's an argument to be made that that's a little short-sighted because by doing that, it's like I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. However, I do have an Argent Commander in my hand, so I know I can get a bunch of damage in the next turn. Um,
Yeah.
so let's see. If I put up, for instance, a Harvest Golem, so there's two other things I could do. I could, or three other things technically. I could Harvest Golem, Dagger, and hit his face with my dagger, or I could Harvest Golem, Dagger, not hit his face with my dagger, or I could Dagger, Deadly Poison, hit his face. I think of the three, Dagger, Deadly Poison, hit his face doesn't make any sense because it only uses 3 mana, and I need to be using all the mana possible to get back into the game.
Yeah.
Um, and he's at 27 health, and I need to kill him quickly because it's kind of a race at this point. Harvest Golem dagger hit him in the face with my dagger, gets him down to he would be at 24, 23, 22, and I wouldn't be able to use my deadly poison afterward. However, I think I'm going to use Archer Commander the following turn. No, I would almost certainly use the Defender of Argus the following turn. So
Yeah.
I can either not hit him or Defender the next turn, and then Deadly Poison on my dagger the next turn, so that I can get the full value of the Deadly Poison. Or I can hit him, and then re-dagger the turn after that. So here's the math around that. So he would be at, if I dagger hit him, and hit him with the rest of my stuff on the board, he's at 22. Then I get to re-dagger the next turn, put up the taunt, but the thing is I get to put up the taunt with a Harvest Golem. So now I have a
Yeah.
3,
So you get a bit more extra life with
so I
that.
have a 3/4, and probably the 2, because even if he kills the 2/2, I get the card, and the 4/2 just has just as much health as it. Or
Yeah, that's right.
when I say 4/2 2/2, I mean like what they become. Um,
Yep.
so I would have the 3/1 to keep hitting in the face, and it wouldn't be sacked at any time. So here's what would happen. If I put the Harvest Golem, I probably would have, if I had thought of all of this, I probably would have hit him in the face, because then I get to re-dagger. The turn after that, I get to dagger, or I get to Deadly Poison and Archer Commander.
Yep.
Um, so it would be 22. The turn after that, assuming I just keep hitting me in the face, it would be uh 22 minus 3 minus 2 minus 3, um, which would be 14, um, 13. Yes, he'd be exactly at 13. The next turn, I could Deadly Poison Argent Commander, and let's see, Deadly Poison Argent Commander, and then that would have been probably game, unless he smacked one of my guys with his weapon. So let's look at what he
Yeah.
did. Oh, I did that, and then he immediately did double Harvest Golem. And let's see where he took the cards. Yeah, he just double Harvest Golems and doesn't hit me. Now I'm gonna just check where to see he takes the Mortal Strike from. He takes it from the middle of his hand, so he had it for a few turns, or a couple turns at least. Um, so with that in mind, he only had one other like mystery card, right? So even if he had, so I think I would have won if I had done that strategy.
Yeah, with the harvest golems, give it a bit more health.
Yeah, because I don't know what his mystery card is.
He could have been Leroy. That's the thing. Like if he had Leroy that turn, um, he had
Well,
11 health. He had five.
I don't know. I don't. Maybe. Okay, if it's Leroy, he wins. If it's
Any other card.
if it's Cork on Elite,
4, 9. You're still alive. You got two health.
but the thing is, no, he Cork on Elites. Okay, so say it's Cork on Elite, right?
Yeah.
So so the turn he gets me down to 16. The next turn I Harvest Golem do all that stuff. He's at 22. Um, or sorry, I do all that stuff. He's at 22. Then he Cork on Elites me. Cork on Elite hits me, and I'm down to um, you know, two whatever. Then he can Mortal Strike. Thing is, if that's any charge, I lose.
Yeah, that's right.
Because all he has to do is charge for two. And he's allowed to already hit me in the face with his weapon, and then he has the Mortal Strike in his hand. So if it's like Blue
Yeah.
Glory, or if it's like Leopardome, it's same thing. However, he cannot play both Harvest Golems in that instance.
True. So you'd still have that taunt.
Yeah. So okay, wait. So what he does is okay. Wait. Hold on. If he plays Corcoran Elite, yeah. If he goes to Corcoran Elite, he wins. If he plays Leper Gnome, the thing is he already hits me in the face. So I'm down at 6. If I don't do if I don't taunt there, I'm down at 6. And
Yeah.
if he has some sort of charge or Leopardom, I lose because he can just play that, and then he has the Mortal Strike in his hand. Um, if he has some sort of other card like Fairy Dragon or something, then if we go over it, I get him to 22. I put up that he has a Fairy Dragon in his hand, and then I taunt everything. He can only kill one of them, and then I get him on 13, and then the following turn I have 7. Let's say he kills the thing with the most attack, which is the Harvest Golem. Well, no, that wouldn't. What would reduce my attacking power the most would be killing the 2/2. Because killing the Harvest Golem only decreases my attack by 1. So if he's on a 13, I have 4 plus 3, uh, plus 3. What is that? Sorry, 10, and then 13. Uh, yeah, I have enough. So if he doesn't have a charge thing there, I win.
Yeah.
So lesson is, if he has Leroy, I'm probably dead anyway. Although
Okay.
let's look at the alternative. So what would be better if in that instance, obviously if he has 2 Harvest Golems, he wins. Um, but say he had like say his hand is like all charge units, right? Would it be
Yeah.
better? Would my play have been better then? Because then he just runs his charge units into my guys, and then it gives me a little more. Although in that case, I don't have enough power to kill him anyway.
Yeah. Not yet. You don't.
So no matter what, in that instance, the best response is to play risky and then just hope he doesn't have the kill the next turn, which he probably doesn't with 6 mana. He can't. Oh, it would be hard for him to do. Well, 6 damage is not
So you
that bad.
think the better play was Harvest Golem Dagger up?
Yeah, and then either hit him or don't hit him. But I think in general that's probably true. Like I have to instead of just panicking and throwing up a taunt on like inadequate on like stuff that's not great to taunt, it's probably
Yeah,
better to just because either way it's risky, right? Either way I'm
yeah,
like
that's right.
either way I'm like I'm basically cutting my short. I'm like saving myself short term so I can die in the long term. But my
Yeah,
death in the
that's
long
right.
term is more guaranteed. So in the future, if I'm down in that instance, it's better to just play it risky and let and just like just risk that turn so that in the long term I can have a chance.
Yeah,
The other side of the coin is that if I don't there's another thing to think about also is that like there's been instances where I've killed his stuff. You'll see this in the next game too, or it might be in this game, I'm not sure. Where I've killed his stuff because I try to get the threat immediately out of the way, and I didn't think to get like a minion on the board, which would have been better. Which that happened in this game.
yeah. Play for the turns ahead.
Yeah. All right. So let's go back a little bit. So before that happened, um, so he just played. I don't know what happened, but anyway, I'm at 16 health. He has his abusive sergeant and a frothing berserker on the field. I have an Argent Commander, Defender of Argus, Bloodmage Thanos, Harvest Golem, Eviscerate, and Deadly Poison in my hand at 4 mana. So the possible plays I can make are Bloodmage Thanos, Eviscerate, which I'm pretty sure is what I do. That's like yeah, that's what I did because then I killed the abusive sergeant with my SI7 agent. Um, or I could Defender of Argus.
Kill with agent.
Sorry?
You could defend your agent and then either hit the frothing or hit the 2-1, and then make him trade with the 4-4.
Yeah. So that's a possibility. The only problem is that I was thinking I need this Defender of Argus to taunt two things, is what I was thinking. But
Yeah,
and then I also thought that I need to kill this Frothing Berserker right now, or else I'm screwed. Um, but thinking about it, what could he possibly, what could he get bigger on? You know, like if he, like say if I put the Harvest Golem out there, he could sack his Abusive Sergeant, but he still has the same exact damage output with the Frothing Berserker.
yeah,
I mean, so it like I mean if you add it up, like it's either a 6/4 Frothing Berserker or it's a 2/1 and a 4/4. So say for
yeah,
instance, just say for instance I throw out the Harvest Golem, and then I just hit his face. The next turn he Arcanite Reapers, and then hits me in the face for 11, puts me down to 5. I'm almost certainly dead. So that doesn't work. I mean, apart from knowing the future, I kind of saw that happening anyway. Um, so
What about, so you don't think the Argus on the agent and then trade, like put the agent into the not the Berserker, the abusive sergeant, and that'll leave you with a 4-2 taunt on the board, and then it'll also leave you with a 2-3 on the board.
yeah, um, so that's another possibility. So if I did that, um, the problem with that is that so I defended Vargas, say I kill the 2/1, right? He throws a charge unit into it, and then his Frothing Berserker's an 8/4, and he hits me for 8.
True.
That's the issue with that. So I kind of if I put a taunt up, it's actually like detrimental in a way because he hits that, and now this Frothing Berserker is massive. Um, so I think what I did, even though it was painful because I needed the Eviscerate to like hit his face, um, you know what I could have done is I could have Blood Mage eviscerated his face, just try to race and then not worry about his frothing berserker because if there's nothing in the way, then it doesn't matter anyway. Because he's probably not likely gonna stop and like hit my guys. Well, maybe. Um, if I did that, he would be down to 19. But then I would be down to at the very most 10, and then I got down to 5. So I'd probably die doing that anyway. So my play wasn't that bad. Um, in retrospect, so I knew I had to kill that guy. Anyway, so let's go before that. So the play before, he core leaded my Nat Pagel, and then it hit me in the face with his Frothing Berserker. Because the turn before that, I had my SI7 agent in the field, and I think I Nat Pagel cold blooded. Part of that was because I wanted to um get Nat Pagel in the field and get as many cards as I could, but I also wanted to um get use my mana efficiently. So I
Yeah.
Nat Pagel cold blooded Nat Pagel without it being a surprise. The other thing I could have done, I had Harvest Golem, Eviscerate, Blood Mace Thanos, Deadly Poison. Um, what I could have done is I could have just hit my SA7 agent into the Frothing Berserker and just use my Eviscerate just to nip that issue in the bud right there. Problem with that is that the Abusive Sergeant could just hit my face and he charged in my face and I'm down to 16 anyway. Um, and then I don't have it, and then I don't have much to combat his stuff. I could Harvest
No,
Golem. I could have just Harvest Golem and
uh,
hit his face.
yeah. I think that might have been the play.
Yeah. Um, I kind of figured that my Nat Pagel, like a 4/4 Nat Pagel, would be hard to deal with. Although in retrospect, he could have dealt with it pretty easily by killing with his Frothing Berserker. But I felt like that was a decent trade for me. Like if he just ran his I mean just on the board, if he ran his Abusive Sergeant into my SI7 agent and then killed off both his guys, and I still had 3-1 on the board. But then he has the rest of his mana to play with, which is an issue.
Yeah. I guess
Um,
the thing with Harvest Golem is that it can give you a lot more board presence than what other cards can because it has to be like a 2-for-1 trade,
yeah,
so you can keep things on the board a little bit longer. I guess. So
yeah, and then don't even worry about the Abusive Sergeant because if I do that, then it's a four
yeah, he
four.
has to trade 2-for-1.
Yeah, so that was probably the play. So that was probably the biggest play that I could have influenced. The other play I could potentially have done is either dagger, deadly poison, hit the frothing berserker and sack my SS7 agent, or actually, you know what? I could just dagger and hit him, huh?
Yeah.
And not use the deadly poison. But I probably wanted to get the deadly poison out.
The problem with using you could have also cold-blooded your. Oh no, you couldn't have. Well, you could have, but it wouldn't have had the bonus.
Yeah.
It would be in a 5-3, which
You know
probably
what? I
wasn't
could
worth
have.
it.
That is true though. I could have. You know what? I should have just cold-blooded my SI7 agent and killed it right off. And then now it's a well, it's a 7-1. So he happily trades. I'm not saying I should have done that, but like if I'm gonna cold blood something, I should just cold blooded that and not that
Yeah.
Pagel.
You can also. I like to play Thalnos early against aggro. So like you could have even Thalnos cold blood the
Yeah,
SI
yeah, and
agent
not
and
and
then
then gotten the guaranteed card draw. and
Yeah,
had something to kill, any 3/1s or 2/1s that come on the board.
yeah, because it's not often you'll need the spell damage bonus that it actually gives against aggro.
Yeah. So like my play kind of so say if he blue gill warriored and kill my Nat Pagal and then did something that would still been really bad, like he hits me in the face for a ton, my Nat Pagal's dead. I use Cold Blood for nothing or for almost nothing. I trade like basically two cards for one, if especially if I don't draw a card. So in this respect, the two plays I had were Harvest Golem, or two and a half basically. Harvest Golem, hit with the face, or Pagal, Cold Blood my SI7 agent, kill his Berserker and retain my SI7. Or Blood Mice Thanos, Cold Blood, hit the guy. Or a third option is I dagger,
Dagger.
Cold Blood for 2 instead of 4, kill the Frothing Berserker, and then kill the SI7 agent. Now he has nothing to kill my guy off. That actually might have been the
Yeah,
best play also.
yeah, I think that was actually that might have been the play because you
'Cause-
had only been taking 2 damage in that,
yeah.
and you didn't have a 5-1 on the board.
Hmm. The one thing that's vulnerable to is whatchamacallit, the Cruel Taskmaster. But
But I think while he's using that on you, like that's not a bad thing either, and you can still deal with that.
yeah. So then if I do that my following turn I have 4 mana, I might just Harvest Golem. Or I had
Yeah,
Pagel
if you
too.
slow his,
I had Pagel too, that's
slow
right.
his yeah, that's right.
Or I had
Um,
Pagel, Blood Mace Thanos or something. Or Pagel, Eviscerate or whatever.
yeah, I think it kind of opens yourself up to more options, whereas the Nat Pagal, as much as the Nat Pagal Cold Blood Dream is,
Yeah, I think I got just caught up in the Nat Pagel Cold Blood Dream when I had better options available.
yeah.
Because Cold Blood and Nat
But I
Pagel
think yeah,
is always like so nice because he has so much health.
yeah, so early on as well. I think honestly, my like if I had this choice, like just from seeing it from hindsight, I probably would have gone with the either the normal cold blood, just like no combo cold blood on the SI agent, taking out the frothing berserker, and then use a dagger to hit sergeant, or blood mage and cold blood the SI agent and run it into the
Yeah.
frothing berserker.
And make sure I get the card draw out.
Yeah, and it's also the thing is like that next turn, he has a choice between killing your 5-1, or killing your 1-1 with spell power. If you can't kill your 1-1 with spell power, then you got some sort of board control, some sort of board presence. Whereas the
Yeah.
dagger doesn't really give you that. Like he doesn't have it either. Yeah,
Yeah, it would be a 7/1 by the way.
7-1. Oh yeah, if you play Thalamus, that's right.
Yeah.
Which he
Yeah.
would have had to deal with.
So that was my plays later were more ambiguous, but this one's probably my biggest error so far that we've looked at. Um,
Yeah,
because there's probably playing the 4/4 Pagel. Like it's one thing if I had the Pagel on the board and I played something and killed this frothing berserker. Um, and it's like it was immediate payoff. But it's another thing to like make my Pagel a 4/4 and just pray. That usually doesn't
yeah.
work out so well, especially when he has a dangerous thing like frothing
Honestly,
berserker.
the cold blood Pagel Dream honestly is very like it can be good against aggro, but I think it's a turn one, turn two play, like where you can go coin that Pagel, then turn two you can Argent Squire or backstab, and then also cold blood on your Nat Pagel, and then it can attack that turn. Because how it is there is you can't get an efficient trade,
Mhm.
whereas if you were to do it on turn one and turn two, it kind of allows you to get that trade off.
Yeah, I think what I did or what I was basically really tired. I think I remember what happened here. I was really tired, and I was thinking I need to eviscerate this guy, but I don't have anything to combo eviscerate. So I was like, all right, what's the next turn to to eviscerate the guy? Um, so yeah. is that was probably what I was thinking. I was like, I'm too tired, or I wasn't thinking I was too tired. But I was too tired to think, and I was like, can't eviscerate right now. I'll just do it later. So
Yeah.
that was probably my flawed thinking. All right, so let's go back a little bit. Um, okay, so my turn two play was to coin SS7 agent, kill one of his um, kill his leper gnome when he had a abusive sergeant on the field, which is fine. There's nothing to argue there. um, my turn one play was uh, he played leper gnome. I passed because I was waiting to cold blood the SS7 agent, or to coin the SS7 agent on turn two, so I could kill it for free. Um, I could have coined Blood Mace Thanos, but it would have been pretty identical. If I coined Blood Mace Thanos, I could have killed the Leopard on the following turn. I would have taken the same amount of damage, I would have drawn a card, and I would have been able to dagger and kill the Abusive Sergeant. Um, but like in particular, if he plays like a Fairy Dragon or something, then coin SS7 Agent is really good on turn two. The other thing
Yeah.
is that I have a lot of stuff in my hand. Like I could coin Blood Mage Thanos, and if he plays something, I could eviscerate it just for two damage. I could
Yeah.
so that is one thing, but I think the my play goes both ways, especially long term. Like I can turn two SS7 agent, turn three Harvest Golem, which is a really nice setup. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think my first two plays were like fine, and then really the biggest game changer was, or the biggest turning point was, and this is
Turn
what
three.
happened. Pagel popped up, and I immediately saw him and just like played him. That's really bad. He was my top deck card. I should have just Harvest Golem. Anyway, so yeah, that was basically the reason why I lost game one. And let's go to game two and start at the end again. So my last turn, I am basically dead. There's nothing I can do. I hex my own totem, and I hit him with I hit his Leroy with whelps. I hit him in the face, and then he had an answer to my taunts, and he hit me.
Yeah. I think I remember watching this game.
And he had a Corcon. He top decked a Corcon Elite. I don't know what he has in his other card, but although I did have game the next turn. I had 8, 9, 10, 11. No, I didn't. So I would have had to have been pretty lucky from that point. The turn before Leroy,
Yeah, you had kill because fire elemental and rock rider.
he had 14 though.
Oh, yeah? Didn't he have
Oh wait,
13?
that
Oh,
is
he had
right. That
14.
is
Yeah,
nothing.
that is.
6 plus 8
Yeah.
is 14. That's right. Um, so let's see. The turn before that, I think at this point I was a little bit screwed too. Um, so what I did was, well, the second thing I did was after I played the Zero Drake, I fork lightning. I didn't wait to fork lightning. I just did it. I think because I wanted to see what I got first. Um, because if I had killed, okay, sorry, the board. Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I fork lightning first into because I was thinking for a while like how can I set this up better, and there wasn't really an answer. There wasn't really a better setup because if I hit the if I hit anything, there's no matter what two guys left. I think no. There's either two guys or there's the harvest golem left. Um, but I can't manipulate it to make it less than that. Or I guess I could maybe okay. There'd have been one guy left. Sorry, I can't kill them all. Is basically the thing.
Why?
Well, maybe with Earthshock.
Yeah. Earthshock the Harvest Golem, and then push your Yeti into the 2-1,
Yeah, yeah,
and Fork Lightning.
yeah. Maybe you're right. What did I do? I did a totem.
I think that was definitely probably a better play, just as well as just because you can completely clear his board. He then has to deal with a 4-5 and a 4-4. Well, it would have been a
Four three.
4-3.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of felt pressure to
Hit face.
in face. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's probably the issue. And then next turn he Leroyed. Oh, Hero struck and Leroyed. That's super annoying. So if I had done that, if I had cleared his Harvest Golem, I would have had one less 1/1 on the board. I would have had a 4/3 and a 4/4. Uh, I would have been in the end at 5 health instead of 3. Um, and he would have been at 26 health instead of 22. Um, but being at 5 health saves me from the Core Chrono Elite the next turn, if that's all he can do. Assuming his other card isn't something that can kill me. Um, and then I'd have so okay, this next turn, even with 5 health, I would probably hex my own guy again. Um, I could just kill the Leroy straight up. I could totem, hex, hit his face. He would be at so from 26, he goes down to 18. Then I'd be at 1 the next turn. And I'd have to get lucky with my top deck. So it saves me a little bit, but well, he would have used all of his weapon charge, huh? So if he had a charge guy, he would have won. But if he didn't, I would have. In the next 2 turns after that, I would have won doing your play.
Yeah. And when you think about it, he'd already used, I mean, both Corcrons and his Leroy. So,
Oh, he had. This turn, I think that considering my other cards, I'm just looking back on the card I played. I did the Fork Lightning Earth. I didn't do the Earthshock. So you're right. Should have done the Earthshock. Um, looking back, there really was nothing other than the Azure to play. at that point. So let's go to the turn before that. What did I do? The turn before that, I had um, a flame tongue totem on the board. I had a hex, yeti, azure drake, hex, and rock water weapon in my hand with 7 mana, and I had the last part of fire, the Stormforge axe. I think what I did was I hexed his harvest golem because I figured everything. There's nothing in his deck that's worth the hex. You know, everything's just
Yeah.
charge. And so there's like no reason to hex it, and that was probably the best thing to hex, like the most annoying thing. So what I did was I hex Yeti'd, and I killed the hex with my face. And then the following turn, I think he killed he killed the flame tongue with his fire war axe, and it hit my face. So I think that was probably correct. The other thing I could have done was
Rockbiter?
Azure Azure Drake.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I
What
could have
about
Rockbiter.
Rockbiter on the Flame Tongue and the Flame Tongue into one of the Harvest Columns to put it to a 2-1?
Yeah, that's true. The thing is, having these hexes in my hand was really shitty because there's never gonna be anything to use it on. Um, so I decided I wanted to use them. uh, Azure Drake. I guess I could have hexed my own guy. I guess I could have saved it for hexing my own guys, huh? If I had played Azure Drake,
Yeah.
I think I would have gotten Fork Lightning, which would have been kind of nice actually. Wait, no, I wouldn't have. I would have gone Earthshock.
I think honestly you made the right play there with the Yeti and X.
Yeah,
Just the mana adds up really well.
yeah. All right. So before that is where it gets a little bit like a few forks in the road that I could have taken. So with 4 mana because I'm overloaded by 2, I have the last remaining. I have one remaining Feral Spirit, so 2/3. He has a 4/1 Korkan Elite, um a 3/3 Arathi Weaponsmith, and the full weapon. He has both charges. I think he just replaced it. Um, I have 2 hexes, Chilwanity, Azure Drake, and Flametongue Totem. Um, so my only two options are, well, I could hex something, but well, I guess hex isn't terrible. I could have hexed his 3/3 and killed it with my um either my Feral Spirit or my face, but I probably would use my face or I probably would use the Feral Spirit and kill the Croak Elite with my face. What I ended up doing was I Flame Tongue Totem, hit the 4/1 with my face, then kill the 3/3 with my 2/3. I could have Yeti'd, killed the 4/1, which might have been best. I think my
Yeah.
issue, I think my issue with the Yeti was that I didn't want to keep killing stuff with my face. Because if I hit the 4/1, although I could have, well, I could have killed the 3/1 with my Yeti, because he's gonna kill the 2/3 with the Arathi Weaponsmith, right? So I could have used the Yeti to kill 3/1, or I could use my face to kill the 3/1. I think I was too fixated with the board and trying to clear the board. And I also figured he couldn't kill my Plankton Totem with his axe. He ended up killing
I think
the totem with his axe.
the play I'd probably make is like hex on the Armani one. Hit that with base and just trade the fork on for the Spirit Wolf.
I think I like having the taunt there though because he can't get through it. I think if I were to hex, I would have hit with the guy with my face because he can't get through the taunt with his face unless he has another Corcoran Elite. Which wait, did he use another? Had he already used the other one? I don't remember. So that turn, I think Yeti might have been best actually, just to get a big fat guy in the field instead of having a flame tongue totem with a totem that like he can just kill with his face anyway, and he's not gonna be that low on health. He'll
Yeah,
take 2 or 3 damage max from the totem that the flame tongue totem makes, and then from then he can just ignore the totem, or he can kill it somehow and not take any damage. And I kill off my totem anyway. Like my totem was super. I mean, not my totem, my feral spirit. My taunt was really important to me, and I let it just die. Um,
yeah. I think it's important to be playing like using taunts as just like a stall while
but
you're putting up other minions behind it.
I think Hex or Yeti would have been slightly better. But
Yeah, I think Yeti would have been the right play.
my play wasn't actually I was starting to put it up and I just decided not to. Um, that play wasn't as bad as it was a little more ambiguous than my play from the last game, which was kind of bad. The play that I think was bad, uh, this turn. So putting up the Feral Spirit, even though you had a Corcoran Elite, wasn't horrible. Actually, you know what? I should have. I could have hit the Corcoran Elite in the face, or with my face. Although that's might not have been good because it might have been he might have done something weird like healed it or something.
Yeah, I think trading it with your face might not have been a bad option, really.
So the turn before that, well, I couldn't completely kill it. So the turn before that, I had 3 mana because of Overload. He had just put a Frothing Berserker down, and my choices were Feral Spirit, Hex, or Axed Axe Lightning. Um, Knowing that the following turn I had 5 mana if I didn't do any Overload. See, the thing is, I wanted to play Feral Spirit that turn, but it just dies to the Frothing Berserker, and then I have to kill it later.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I have three mana next turn as well. So I think Hex might have been the best here.
I don't know. I
In my
think
mind, after the game was over, I was thinking I should have played Fail Spirit here and just get the guy up. But maybe that was a turn before. I don't know. So might have been worth it to Hex because when's the next time I'm gonna be able to ever Hex anything? Like I should have known from the previous game. Like he's not going to. I mean, I guess I could have Hexed like a if he had it like an Argent Commander that has a shield on or something. But at that point, I might be dead anyway, or Hex my own guy. So that might have been a
you,
good
you
hex
could.
target. The only problem is it ends up being taunt, so it like slows down how fast I can kill him, and then he can hide behind it kind of. But I did have a
Yeah,
lightning
that's yeah,
bolt.
that's
I did have a lightning bolt in my hand, so if he ever tried to um, like the fact that I used 2 of my removals on one guy and took a decent amount of damage for it is kind of painful. I
Yeah,
could have used my
I'm not
lightning bolt
sure.
on any Corcon elites or anything.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
But I think Hex or Feral Spirit would have been better because Feral Spirit's nice because it gets at least something on the field. Um, and
Yeah, it might take him an extra turn or two to actually get through to your face.
yeah. The next turn, what does he do? Next turn, he Corcon elites. So yeah, he would have gotten rid of both, and I would have had a hard time. Well, if I did that though, I would have had zero. I would have had 30 health still, so I could have just Stormforged the Corcon Elite and then Lightning Bolt the other one, and I would have still had the same amount of
Yeah,
mana overall, and I would have taken less damage overall. So that might have been better. So I think either Feral Spirit or Hex would have been better here, even knowing that the Corcon Elite is coming out the next turn.
thinking about it, I think Hex might have been a good choice. Yeah. So what if you can hide behind her? I mean, you'll be able to deal with it eventually. I think.
So turn before that,
Also, it doesn't overload you at all, so you have the choice to Yeti and Lightning Bolt or Azul Drake or
yeah,
Stormforged Axe and Spirit Wolves.
yeah. So the turn before that, he uh he had just killed something, I guess, with his Fiery War Axe, but then he put out a Bloodsail Raider for 5/3, and my choice was to Totem and Lightning Bolt it, which so my only other choice was the Feral Spirit, which in this case would have died to his axe and the Bloodsail Raider. Um, and he would have had a 5/1 Bloodsail Raider left. His axe would be gone. He'd be at 27 health. But my Feral Spirit would be dead. In the following turn, I would have 2 mana to maybe axe or something. But I'd have to take 5 damage to the face if I axe, or I could Lightning Bolt. Um, but then I'd only be able to Lightning Bolt. I'd only be able to do that, and it would be kind of a waste because I think my turn here was fine.
Yeah, agreed.
Just Lightning Bolt it, get it out of the way. And I got a good totem. Um, all right, so that was fine. Oh, what was my mulligan was I got rid of Leroy obviously, and then I had a choice between Unbound and Blood Mage, and I got rid of Unbound it looks like, and kept the Blood Mage. Okay, so first runner obviously passed, and I think he coin axed. Yeah, he coin axes. No wait, he doesn't. Yeah, he does. He coin axe and then kept it, presumably
So
for
why do you
the
keep Thanos?
um just to have something. Cause I wanted to play safe. Cause look at the cards I got anyway. I got Hex, Chillin' Yeti, and Zerjik. I'd be like screwed if I got that. Um, I just wanted to get something because he might like Leper Gnome or something that I could just trade that for. And it's also card draw. Like I could cycle through my other stuff. I just wanted something that was at least a low drop. I don't think that's the worst decision ever. I got rid of the Unbound because um, basically it's good to mulligan 2 because it's the highest margin of like as far as if you mulligan 2 versus mulliganing 1 or mulliganing 3 versus mulliganing 2, like 2 over 1 is the biggest difference in most situations, and particularly decks with like, when you're looking for 10 to 15 cards. So my turn two play was Thanos and not um, Totem because I wanted to draw another card because I didn't have a 3 drop. So I think that turned out okay.
Yeah.
Also, he axed my Thanos, which is good. So my bad plays were I could have hexed or feral spirit, and I decided to get rid of it in a weird way. And so lesson there is use your hex when you can against aggro decks, and don't and be careful about your future turns by getting overloaded. The math I did was that I could have still used feral spirit the following turn. So, but ended up being feral spirit ended up not being very good at that point.
Yeah. You kind of want to give yourself options, really. Like, you don't want to lock yourself into a plan that in the end is going to put you further behind.
Yeah, and then the other misplay I did was not playing the Yeti because I kind of got worried and was like, I need to clear the board, but it would have been better just to get the bigger guy out. So in general, I need to not worry to look at the big picture, and typically getting a big fat minion out will be better in the long run than immediately clearing the board. Yeah. So basically, the overall lesson from these videos is that I need to look at the long run. I need to like consider my future turns more.
Yeah. Don't set yourself into a plan that you can't change. Make sure that you can actually adapt to whatever they play.
Yeah, and like don't basically just don't panic about the board because about the situation because just play the odds. Like the previous game, I there was a situation at the end where um what was it? Yeah, I could have waited on the taunt, and I got paranoid. I put the taunt on. There's also the play where like I immediately put the Nat Pagel up, which was big enough to kill his frothing berserker. Although in
Yeah.
that instance, it was wishful thinking because I needed to get rid of the frothing berserker right away. So it's like there's like kind of twofold. It's like they're kind of contradictory things. One is recognize threats, and the other one is don't sacrifice the future game for the now game. So it's like
Yeah.
if it's a frothing berserker, if it's something that's super scary, then deal with it. If it's not, then try to set yourself up better for the later game.
Yeah. And, don't play overly safe. Like, play so, like, if you're behind,
Yeah, play the
play
odds.
it so, like, if there is a chance that they don't, you can get back into the game. Don't play the one that says, okay, I'm safe next turn, but the turn after that, I
Yeah,
can't really get back into the game anymore.
yeah. I think the way I can sum up both kind of like contradicting strategies because one of them is like I had to get rid of the frothing berserker, right? But the other one's like I need to not worry about just this next turn, but the turns after. So I need to play my minions. Um, the way to put those into one statement is like gotta play the odds. Like
Yeah.
this seems weird. This seems like it might be unsafe. But the only way that like the best way I'm gonna win slash the only way I can possibly win is to do this kind of thing.
Yeah. I guess if you see it from your opponent's point of view, you have something like a Yeti out, which is pretty much in most decks just for the ability that they have to be able to trade with other minions.
Yeah,
It's such a high health and pretty decent damage full draw. Um, aggro decks really don't like to see a Yeti out in the field because it means that you can just go by and clean up things with it, really. So if you can get that out as early as possible,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
guess with Shaman that means that you might have to use hexes early instead of overloading yourself so you can get it out.